Okay, here we go with lesson 5, my personal favorite, a breathtaking performance. So far, we've talked about how to play great in games and not just in practice, and how to overcome failure. And the key things have been figuring out your ABCs and then your success qualities, putting them together and creating your map, your road to success, the path that you need to follow on, and focus on those things. Focusing on the things you can control help you overcome failure and help you play as well in a game as you do in practice, because you practice those things. You need to practice these ABCs and the success qualities and putting them into action on the field, and that becomes your focus. That's what you are doing. That's what these good players do. They're not so tied into their outcomes. They're more tied into their process of how they are playing the game. Now, you'll definitely have negative emotions come up, and they can really get in the way. In this exercise, I want to show you a way to get rid of them very quickly. So let's begin by just taking a scan of your body. Take a nice deep breath, and as you exhale, kind of shake things out a little bit, but it's kind of scan and see if you've got any negative emotions in your body. See if you have any pain or discomfort where you'd feel a little bit off. Any negative thoughts that might be running through your head about your performance or about anything really. And just make either a mental note or ideally write them right down to just see how it gets us like our bench line to see how, and we're going to revisit this in just a couple minutes after we do this exercise. So this exercise, if you sit and watch this and don't do it, it's going to seem kind of unusual and you're not going to get anything out of it. If you do it, I think it'll be your favorite too. So please stand up. I don't really have room to do that here with this camera, so I'm going to just pretend that I'm standing up, but I really encourage you to stand up also and start taking some nice deep breaths into your belly and chest. Going to warm up your breathing. So in a moment here we're going to be playing with your breath a little bit, so I want you to have kind of warmed up, so it's not like you're taking different kind of breaths because you're just getting warmed up. So one more good one, and exhale. In a moment, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, go. I'm going to have you take a nice deep breath and rate it from 0 to 10. 0 being it's like it's time to go to the doctor. 10 would be like an Olympic breath. That's like, oh, that's a phenomenal breath. You've probably never done this before, so you don't have anything really to compare it to, but do the best that you can. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3, go. Draw the breath in and then hold it for a moment. And exhale, let that breath go. And now give it a 0 to 10. How good a breath was that? And you might jot that down. Okay, so now what I want you to do is just follow along. It's kind of Simon Says, and except for the Simon Says part. I just want you to do what I say, and because I can explain it, it would take me a long time. But let's just have you do this, and we'll see what happens. You can remain standing, please, and just start tapping with your 3 fingers. Start tapping on the side of your hand and saying, even though I have this restriction in my breathing, yeah, you just say that and say it out loud. It's going to be better. I deeply and completely accept myself. Right, maybe you've never said that before, so it's already a successful day for you. Even though I have this restriction in my breathing, I deeply and completely accept myself. Yeah, almost dropped the L word in there. And even though I have this restriction in my breathing, I deeply and completely accept myself. Great. Now tap it on your eyebrows. With the middle finger is kind of in on where the eyebrow begins. Unless you have a unibrow, then just go where you think pretty much everyone else's eyebrows start. Again, you got 3 fingers. I'm tapping here. Tap, 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 and say, this restriction in my breathing. Tapping on the side of your eyes. This restriction in my breathing. Under your eyes, this restriction in my breathing. Under your nose, this tightness in my chest. Under your lips, this restriction in my breathing. Under your collarbone here, this tightness in my abdomen. And reaching under your arms, right on your 4 inches under your armpit, this restriction in my breathing. Right under your pecs, can't quite see that, right under your pecs right there, this restriction in my breathing. Right here, the wrist clap, this tightness in my chest. And right here, this restriction in my breathing. That's right. In a moment, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. Take a big breath. And just as you did before. So ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Take a big breath in. Hold it. And then, as you exhale, give that a 0 to 10. What would you give that breath? The last breath was a hmm. This breath was a what? 0 to 10. Now let's go here again. This remaining restriction. This remaining tightness in my chest. This remaining restriction in my breathing. This remaining tightness in my abdomen. This remaining tightness in my chest. This remaining tightness in my chest. I choose to breathe freely and deeply. I choose to breathe freely and deeply. I choose to breathe freely and deeply. And this remaining restriction in my breathing. All right, in a moment I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, go. Take another big breath and assess that one. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Big breath in. And exhale, let that breath go. Now 0 to 10, what would you give that breath? Now, if you're like most people, I don't want to send you on any psychological trips if it didn't happen for you, because there's a good chance that you got nothing out of this. And there's a good chance that that was one of the best breaths you've ever taken. That a lot of people find that they come here and then the air comes up here and it's like, oh my gosh, the restriction in my chest is gone. And so now what I'd like you to do is see who you're welcome to sit back down and just take another body scan and check and see how you feel now. Yeah, of course you've taken some good breaths, but notice any physical discomforts, any joint issues, any negative thoughts that you had. Just check in and see what's going on for you now. Yeah, a lot of people will find that some things have kind of cleared out. I felt that you just feel a little bit better. Now, this is just absolutely not even the whole tip of an iceberg of this approach. This is an emotional freedom technique, EFT. It's about giving yourself freedom with your emotions. This doesn't eliminate emotions, but enables you to get freedom. Like when you strike out and you're upset, now you got to go out and play defense, or you're going to come up again. What would it be worth to be able to let that go really fast? What would it be worth to have an injury and have it heal faster? What would it be worth to be trying to make a physical change, a physical adjustment, and it happens many times faster than it would normally? Those are just some of the things that I'm talking about with this EFT. And I'll look forward to telling you more about all that, but for right now, let's just have you practice your tapping. Whenever you feel something that you don't like, just go through the little tapping routine. You can skip this part even if you want. Go through the spots and just see what happens. Lots of great stuff coming up, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon.